Okay, this is a fast tutorial on creating a web form. So inside the web form environment, you would go to Add New, give a name to the web form, publish it, and then here you give the assign to the user. This user number is the user inside the Disciple Tool system. You would want this, all the contacts of this form to point to. We can say 23. You can look this up inside the user area at the bottom of the page on the left. You can say what sources this is coming from. This should be a reflection. If it's installed in a Disciple Tools backend, it'll give you a list of the sources that are available through the settings tab, I believe custom lists. And then you can change the overall status that you want this to come in from. Then you would, so you'd update that, change it. That change generates your unique URL there, this unique ID for this form. Then I would come through and make my decisions on, is this a top hidden? Is it going to say contact us? Is it, or I don't want it to be hidden. I do want the email to be required, and so I can again update as soon as I make any of those changes. There's an extensive amount of extra fields and other design elements that you can add, but skipping to the simplest version, you have multiple styles where you can have no style at all for the form and you can define it yourself. You can have a very simple form. You can have a heavy form. You can make the width and height defined. If you add a lot of fields, you'll want to make the height of the iframe higher. Over here is a box that tells you actually bits of code that can change. And this is cascading style scripts, so or sheets and CSS. So you can actually grab the wrapper, put that in here, and change elements, and it will override the default settings. So if you want to change certain things, you can basically look for those things and then grab and put the override in. You can also disable the form if you're not using it at the moment. And then at the bottom you can localize, and so if I'm doing this in another language, I could put in say Spanish for all these elements. Like in this, you'll want to leave the brackets and the 0 in place, but everything else can be translated. Then you would update again. Then once I have the, I can take this iframe code right here that's been defined, and I can paste that into another website. Here you can open the link and get a version of what it looks like live. Now notice one other thing. When I refresh, see this submit in 2, 3. This is a countdown. There's 2 features that keep this from getting robot submissions. One is the countdown timer on the submit button. The other is a honey bucket. And you don't need to know that, but that's why it doesn't use a CAPTCHA.